Hello everybody, welcome to another episode of the Loveliest podcast. So my name is Michelle, for those of you who don't know me, and I look after the Loveliest Yarn Company. So this is hopefully for once going to be a brief one. I keep saying that at the start of all of them, but they're never very brief. So today, definitely brief, because like I keep saying, time vanishing totally, and I need to do a website for Benchy Yarns, so that's very exciting, and that will be coming hopefully by the end of May, so I'm working on that at the moment, so hopefully I'm going to keep this quite short. So today it's very quick. I just want to show you some finished things that I've just finished, and I have a free pattern for everybody, which is one of the main reasons for doing this podcast, is to share that with you. And then because of the yarn that free sample is knit in, I want to show you, just going to talk a little bit about single farm yarn, because it's something I really like buying. Surprise, surprise. I feel like when you go to shows, it's really easy to buy like all the lovely hand dyes, and I include myself and my commercial yarns in that, but something I love to buy as well as everything else, obviously, is single farm yarns raised by farmers who use it as a, instead of doing anything else with their fleeces, like burning them or burying them or just kind of not using them at all, and they get them spun kind of privately through the small mills in the United Kingdom predominantly, and then they offer them for sale either on their websites or through others. And I just thought it was kind of a nice thing to share, because I have quite a bit of it. I find it at all kinds. You find it at different shows, so I get a lot of mine at Wonderwool, is probably one of the biggest places I found it, but you can buy it from, there's lots of other shows that have it, depending on obviously on the brand, etc. Yarndale as well is another one where you sort of find smaller suppliers of these really, really super kind of indie yarns, which is, something else that is really nice to have. So with that said, I was going to show, I've cast off a few things, I'll show you those now, but I'm about to cast on a very exciting knit. I'll show you that first. There is yarn everywhere in this house. So we finally have it online as well. I've had them for a while at shows. It's the Sinister Sweater, the simpler one. So this is, loads of you will have seen me in my Sinister Sweater version of the Cardigan, which is in the 4-ply. This is the double knitting version. It is just a sweater, and if you can see, it's just two colours, and just one teeny set of cats. Look at the little teeny cats. So I'm about to cast this on. It's sized from really small to a generous size. So from a 17.5-inch chest to a 64-inch chest, which I think is quite a good range of sizes. And I think 17.5 is kind of baby size, kind of maybe toddler. I must look that up, because obviously I've had that question at shows and I must be sure. It's on the website now. And it's funny because I'm making this before I put it on the website, but I know before I put this live, it'll be live. So I can't tell you, but by the time it is live, I will have put up a link to kind of kid sizing as well, because I think we all know our own sizes mostly, but knowing kid sizes is handy where it kind of fits in age. But of course, I always recommend when you're making a sweater for anybody, measure them specifically, because like if you think about kids at 3 or 4, they can be the same size as kids at 5 or 6, or kids at 6 can be really small. It varies. I think my knowledge of kid sizing is very poor. So, Sinister Sweater, I am knitting it in Soxia DK, 2 in Chiron and 1 in Speen. I love the way they look together. It's coming up a little more gingery on the camera. It's a kind of a gingery goldy brown with the yellow, which I think will be really nice. I debated it for a while, but I think they're probably the most neutral colours while being still really bright, rather than using, I was really tempted by, I think it's Dallas and Prunus, which is that really nice, they have a lovely steel blue-grey Sedalis, and the Prunus, which is kind of a ballet pink. But I just thought, in case pink puts people off because not everybody wears it, I thought this would be a lovely sample to start them in. I will have bundles for adults and kids on the site. In Soxia DK, it's not a bad price, but it's a little bit more expensive, obviously the bigger the size you need, as with all patterns. But I do have a plan to knit it in a more affordable DK for kind of adult sizes. But I'm not going to do that yet. I'm going to start small, because I need to have this finished for wool at Junction 13, which is my next show. So yeah, definitely need to get motoring, and a teeny tiny DK sweater is about as much motoring as I'm going to do. So other than that, I have been finishing things, which is surprising for me. So very exciting. I finally finished it. The big lad, we'll call him. Well, no, it's not. It's actually too pretty to be called a lad. This is a 2 meter in silk mohair. No, alpaca mohair. Silk mohair? Mohair. It's a beautiful lace weight mohair silk base, I believe. I think it's mostly 74 mohair, something silk. It'll be on the website and it will say this pattern is coming soon, but it's not going to be on my website. It is going to be on the Banshee website, which is also coming soon. So this is one of the first samples for Banshee, and you're probably wondering why would you knit a plain shawl when it's for a dye brand? But I've been making samples for shows now for ages, and what I do find is that people, the most common to sell is the sample colour, and keeping stock of that is always trickier. So I thought if I knit it in a plain yarn, I can have a plain yarn with me. It's always an option, but at least people will be able to see the item and then pick the colour they really want, rather than being over influenced by the colour of the sample. So I just love this. I really want, you can kind of see how massive it is. It's just a garter stitch wrap, but I just, to feel it is to just love it. Everyone is saying I should use suri, alpaca mix, but I love mohair. And actually this, you don't really notice that it's mohair. I think it's shedding all over me. Don't care. Totally worth it. Coming very soon to the Banshee website. I have kits for it, woolen, and I'll have it in 6 of the signature Banshee colours as well. So that's very exciting. I love this. Oh my god, I'm not going to take it off. I'm going to have it later on today. Next thing I've just finished is another sample for Banshee yarns. You can kind of tell there's a bit of a panic on here at the moment in terms of sample knitting. This is the Casa Pinker. I think it's Magical Thinking. It's her current knit along going on Ravelry at the moment. It's my first time knitting a Casa Pinker pattern. I can assure you it will not be the last. So it's kind of, it's the poncho that's not a poncho, I think is the joke, because I think she's a teenager who doesn't think that people should wear a poncho. You know, I had ideas as teenagers as well, but of course I used to wear my mom's, from the 80s jumpers that used to go to my my calves, but teenagers. So this is how it's worn. It's worn to the side so that it's not pointing down that way. I never thought about that before. And what it does is this is the larger size. I should have got up a needle size because my tension is tight. It pulls down over you. Obviously it doesn't pull very well down over another item, but it's got a neat cowl neck as well, which I love. So it's got a cowl neck on it, and it goes down into a lovely V, and it's knit in the round. In all the different textures, and it pulls down quite a good bit. It's getting stuck a little as I wrestle myself into my knit, but it's just, I'm so in love with this shawl shape. It's really pretty, and all of this is all really cleverly done all the way up along there. It's really textured, highlights the yarn really well, really, really nice. I knit it in, it's in 3 skeins of Banshee Silky Singles, so that's our 70 superwash merino, 30 wool, no, 30 silk. In Dorica, She and Mist, and it's just, I'm really pleased with how it looks. I don't want to talk about how lovely the yarn is or anything, but I think it's really nice. I'm a bit biased. This looks better on than it does off, but I'm really pleased with it. I would definitely recommend the knit along. I think it's going on for another few months. This is definitely a pattern I'm going to make over and over, I'd say. And it's really a good use actually of singles, because you know the way you kind of don't want to make, sometimes you don't want to make a full jumper out of singles because it can pull a little bit, although if you're gentle with them, it's like anything, if you're careful with it. But it's a really nice use of singles because of how it is, in that it'll see wear and it'll keep you warm, but you probably won't wear it as much as a sweater, and it gives you loads of warmth. I would definitely recommend swatching if you're like me, tight knitter. If I was knitting this again now, I would definitely go up a full needle size, because I think the yarn would take it as well. I think I used the 3.5 and I could have gone all the way to a 3.75. I'd have to look at the pattern to be sure, but I would definitely, great pattern. I can't wait to knit more of her patterns. Very excited to find that. So that, I was really pleased. This is a fairly quick knit. And I used about 50 grams of every ball, but I did use over the 50 in at least 2 of them, so you do need, but you still have plenty of left. Although, do check the knit along things, because I think people were running out of yarn. And I was like, attention, it matters. So that's that. And then onto the free hat. Now I was knitting this last time I came on. It is knit in the Armscote Yarn DK. So this is it, and it's funny because obviously I knitted to a size. I was actually going to cast on 120 stitches for the middle size, but I ended up casting on 105 because I underestimated my long tail cast on, as one does. I know there is a way around that, and I think Anakin Alice does a good tutorial on how to do that, but I didn't check at the time. Probably should have. So it's a little bit, this is snug. Very snug. I really like it actually, it's kind of fun. It's in 4 of the Armscote manner, the 4, because there are 4 colours in it. It's now free on the blog, it comes in 3 sizes, this is the small size. But you can just scale it by taking 5 stitches in or out, which changes it by about 3/4 of an inch. So it's actually or an inch, it's quite a scalable hat. And take a little bit out of the brim if you wanted to make it as a kiddie's one. It is the friend of our Knit Hattie 4-ply. This will be added as a digital version to that as well. If you've already bought that, you will get the DK version in your pattern to hold in your Ravelry library, and we will be adding an Aran version to the Knit Hattie as well, but that won't be free. I don't know, I thought it would be a nice balance to give out the most commonly used yarn type for free on the blog, and then if you wanted to kind of, you know, upgrade, you could have the 4-ply and the Aran version as well. Aran version, not ready yet. Oh, there's only so much time in the day. Although I think I've gotten marginally, like this much marginally, better at estimating hat sizes and things. I think I've got hats and socks I'm okay at. Like, I'm never going to be like woolly wormhead hat quality. But I think I can now, I have a kind of a better idea of how big heads are. Which is kind of a start. So with that said, the reason I wanted to write a free pattern for this as well, because I really like Deborah actually from Armscote Yarns, and I thought, you know, it's really, if you are a farmer and you're not a knitter, or you are a knitter but you don't have time to write patterns, and it can be difficult to get a start, you know, getting people to use your yarns and get them out there. And I thought, well, I had the hat, I was going to do a DK version, so I thought I would do it in hers, and if it's free, then, you know, people will hopefully go and buy her yarn from her, because I don't have it in stock, although at some point I may have. Thought it'd be good. So it's nice to have a pattern for someone too. But as part of that, I'd like to share single farm yarns, because Deborah's is a single farm yarn raised in Armscote manner. So I'm going to share now some of my predominantly DK actually, I think. Well, a mix of DK and 4-ply in yarns I have picked up that are single farm. So Deborah is a farmer rather than a knitter, and I think it's great. I grew up in Ireland where you had the farmer and the farmer's wife, although if I look back now, the farmer's wife is farmer as well. She just had a slightly different title, which, you know, thank goodness we've moved beyond that now, so that, you know, it's probably not as odd to see a woman who's a farmer. My mom had sheep as well. My mom kept sheep for a few years when she took a career break from teaching to look after she had 4 of us at one point, and she reared sheep during that time. And it was great, but it was hard work. and I remember being hard work then, and I was only responsible for tiny things. My older brother is probably going, you did nothing except play with the baby lambs. Who doesn't want to play with the baby lambs? Yes, so we get the fun end of sheep farming when we buy yarn. So I just thought I'd, you know, shout out to the shepherds. So that's that. And now some of the yarns I have that I have picked up at shows, and you can find all of these on everybody's website. I'm going to put them down below. I don't stock any of these, and well, that's it. You can't have everything. Where would you put it? Behind me. So we'll start with some of the mohair that I bought. I got this at Wonderwood last year. I have not used it. I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to do with it, to be honest. This is from Spindleshanks Mohair. Let's knit this into my iron. I have to confess, I do not know. It's plant dyed. You can find it at Spindleshanks Mohair at outlook.com. I don't have a website, but if you search, I think on Instagram, they are on Instagram. I bought 2 of their chunky. Now we all know I love mohair. Baby goats, just give me goats. And it's a chunky, it's slightly different. It still smells like creatures, but it's not like as strong as wool. And it has that mohair feel, and it isn't like most of these, if I look at them now, are not super wash. They are spun, and they're like they're just wool. and, well, mohair? Hair. The name is there. So yeah, so that's spindle shanks, and it's a mix of mohair and lamb's wool, and it really is fun. You can feel it a little bit in your hands as well, which is nice. I love to feel lanolin still in this, because this lamb's wool, this lanolin. I must check actually what's in mohair. See, I don't know. There must be some kind of oil to keep it, you know, like there is in human hair. I wonder what they call it. Or is I suppose it's just grease. And then at the same stand, I also bought at the same time, I think I probably showed these off before, but you're what harm. These are from a Cookley yarn, and this is Pet Herd. These are like her babies that like live in the farm. And I was like, oh my goodness, pet goats. Like these aren't like stock, we'll call them stock animals, I suppose, that are, you know, bought and sold and bred for, you know, for meat rather than for fleece. And these are obviously the pet yarns. The pet sheep are the ones that live on the farm and will live happily ever after, forever. Why did I buy these? Because I really love them, and because mohair is actually supposed to be, since buying this I discovered that mohair is a good substitute for socks. I really do want socks in these, and that is my long-term plan for those, is to turn them into big hairy socks. Might need a pair from my sister. Can you imagine? No, she's not a woman for hairy socks. Then a yarn I found at Yarndale last year. This is Wooldale wool, and it is mixed with alpaca, I believe. No, this one is mixed with just, this is 100% wool, and it's grown in Yorkshire. I don't know if it's slaughter free, but if you search you'll find out. I don't know if it is. And it's sheepy, and they have another one as well, which is somewhere in here. There, it's mixed with alpaca, I think, to give it a kind of a grey look, and I think they have their own alpacas as well. And again, single farm yarns are all grown in the same farm and then spun from the fleece of those sheep that are in there. And I think you just can't buy a better product. You can't buy anything more wholesome in my mind. Then one of my favorite ever sheep farmers of all time is Jane from Wensleydale. Home Farm Wensleydales. She's ace. Jane is ace, and I was talking to her at Wonderwool, and they were just coming to the end of their lambing season, and I'd say they were probably nearly killed. I think she did 150 lambs in quite a short period of time, and you can just imagine how tiring that is. And I suppose they had just finished shearing their Wensleydales. It wasn't something I'd really thought of, because where I grew up, we had like Cheviot crosses and Suffolk crosses. They're the dark faced ones. There's a few dark faced sheep, but they were you see them, they're quite traditional sheep. If you're painting sheep, drawing sheep, that's the sheep you would kind of have in mind. But with the Wensleydales, I can't imagine what it is like shearing them, because if you think about their big long woolly drapey coats, they must be a nightmare, because like regular sheep are kind of tightly fleeced, and they would come off one, but the Wensleydale sheep are just massive. I never thought about how much effort goes in, so a huge amount of work goes into this. So yeah, they just finished shearing and lambing, so I can't even imagine. Like, out of that I have this beautiful wool, and I'm like, oh, this is lovely, and then all the effort that went into that, like the minding, the feeding, the shearing, all that work. So yeah, definitely worth it. I will again obviously include the thing, and Jane does both kind of softly pastel, hand dyed and natural yarns. I believe she also does fleece for spinning as well, so definitely want to check out if you like kind of a variety of crafts. So I love that. Jane is awesome. You should go and see her at every show. Then I have another single farm yarn that I bought at Wonderwool. You can kind of tell actually Wonderwool is definitely where I find a lot of these. And that's what I really, like I said last week, love Wonderwool for that. This is Cinderella Firma. I don't think they were at Wonderwool again this year, but it was last year. And I have to say I bought this because some of this fleece is from Harry, who was there, and he was adorable. And this is Black Mountain Wild Sheep, and this, again, the same. And this is Rylands. You see a lot of them actually, to get the natural shades, the wool is spun with other fleece colours to get that effect. I'll show you the arms cut ones in a minute, because that's exactly the same. So this is only 20% Black Mountain against 80% Ryland, which means that the Rylands must be kind of grey-white in colour, and obviously this darkens it up, and then this is 100%. Yep, 100% Black Mountain Welsh. Now this is again like all the, but I would say that that's a fairly robust yarn. People say rustic, what they mean by that is probably a bit hairy, but it's woolly. That's it, it's just woolly wool. and you can actually feel the difference even in those between the two blends, that while they're the same yardage, you can feel the difference. This is definitely a hardy yarn. Then what else do I have? I have, this is single farm yarn, one farm yarn as she calls it. This is from Joy at the Knitting Goddess. Now I don't know if she has this in stock at the moment. I don't stock this particular one. I do have some Knitting Goddess still in stock, but obviously selling that off at the moment because they no longer do wholesale. But you can definitely find that from Joy. I've had this since Edinburgh, not this year, the year before, and I just don't know when I'm going to use it because I want to do it justice when I cast it on. And it is just such a handsome yarn. It's so beautiful. And hand dyed by the Knitting Goddess, the dyeing goddess really in a way as well. So yes, that is from her friend's farm, and I think it only travels, like, it's from Fiddler's Green Farm, and it only travels, I think it's like 67 miles in the total of the total processing and everything. And it's Blueface and North Country Mule, and it's just a really, really lovely yarn. So that's, you know, and it's great to see that you have hand dyers now working with single farms, and I would love to do that eventually, and I think that's where she would like to go. We would like an Irish base, which I'm slowly tracking down with the help of some roguish Yorkshire gentlemen, but that will take a little while. Yes, so that's that, and then I have two more. Now I only have a little bit of this, and I must check because I'm pretty sure that the Little Grey Sheep at Well Manor Farm is single farm, but it's definitely identifiable farm. Whether or not they use 100% of their own, or if they're now big enough to be buying in from other places, I don't know. I found these at Unravel 3 or 4 years ago. Goodness, it must be 4. And again, I haven't used them because I just love them. And again, this is it's sheared by Susie, washed in Yorkshire, spun in Devon, and hand dyed by Emma. So it's still a really homey yarn, so it's really lovely. And you'll see them at a lot of shows that do, you know, you'll be able to see at their website as well. So that's one I have. Another yarn, and this is very, very special. And I've had this in my stash now for a year and a half, and I think I'm going to turn it into one of my own knit hatties. This is from Hillview Farm. However, as I was researching this blog, I was getting the Natashas details from the site, and they are not on Instagram anymore, so I'm not sure if their yarn is available. Their website isn't available either. I don't like to think of anybody disappearing out of the knitting community, so I've had a little bit of a search for us. If you happen to know how Natasha is, please let me know. Although hopefully I will know by the time this goes out, and I'll be able to post it and say she's all right. I'm sure she is. It's just, and people change their businesses all the time, but you know, you want to be concerned. And this is first clip from her own Bluefaces, and it's one of my most precious yarns because, you know, when you're in love with something, it's just such a beautiful yarn, and it's such lovely quality, and it's lovely to know people who raise it as well. So that's my roundup of single farm yarns. There are loads of places. Oh, it's not. One more. Christina at Romney Marsh. How could I forget? Again, another great yarn. They have a super company actually, and they have the most beautiful luxury items. So they not only do this beautiful natural shades. I think there are 5 colours in the natural shades. Not only that, and this is British Romney lamb's wool, and they also have beautiful hand washes. They do like caps of their own tweed, I want to say tweed, but their own wool. And then they have like hand washes and lotions and all kinds of amazing things, all made out of their own products. And they also do a great open day, but I think it's been now for this year. I wanted to go, but you know, you can't just be trekking to Romney Marsh from Nottingham every time you want to go. Next year though, I'm gonna make Simon take me. And yeah, Romney Marsh, definitely recommend. I'm currently working on a project I have shared before, and I have to confess I've made no progress on in ages. This is going to be it's like my magnum opus of crochet. It is going to be a double bedspread at some point in the future. It's already got 800 grams of yarn to go into it. I think there's another yeah, I think I have another 800 to go into it as well. Maybe a little bit more as I look around. There's more there. There's yarn. Actually, there might be a little bit more than 800 to go into it. So yeah, I'm working on that at the moment. It's beautiful. Hardy yarn. You see it when I say, like, any yarn is a garment yarn. If you like to wear wool a lot, or if you wear something beneath it, you know, I know some people are like, they can't wear wool at all because they're allergic to lanolin. There's some people who don't like the prickliness of it, and there's some people who like a sensitivity to it because it's just prickly. And then there's some people who would wear bristle pads, or scrubby pads. I'm kind of in the almost scrubby pads category because I just wear it, but I'll also wear a vest underneath it as well if I feel like. Any excuse to wear the wools. So that's it. Thought I'd share that. I just, you know, sharing happy knitting things from around the world. Next week is, so do check out our the blog with the DK pattern. The show notes are obviously on the blog as well, and there'll be a separate one with the knitting pattern. You'll also be able to download that as a free PDF on the website. I'm working hard on doing that without you having to sign in, but the website does what the website wants sometimes. I'm trying to wrangle it as Trixie. So do check those out, and also if you'd like, you can subscribe to the podcast so that you get all the latest updates and news. The next podcast is going to be about Wool at Junction 13, which is this coming weekend, which I'm really looking forward to. So hopefully I will see some of you there. If not, you will see me next week talking about Wool at Junction 13, and hopefully a little bit more about Banshee Yarns, which we're obviously ramping up to the launch of. Ooh, launching soon. And that's it from me. I hope you are having a lovely week and finding lots of knitting time. Take care, lovelies. Next time.